Welcome to FPL Selection. Today we'll take a look at how the team is shaping up for Game Week 24, but first a quick look at how we got on in Game Week 23. So 42 points meant I stayed pretty much where I was last week, just inside the top 400,000. I managed to catch the news that Haaland was going to be benched just before the deadline, so I moved the captaincy over to Thiago, but didn't really make any difference in the end. Had a clean sheet from Guehi, assist from Mukiele, Fernandez and Rogers. He also got Defcon, and Enzo had the only goal in my team this week. Not the best of weeks, but all the returns I got came from players that came in on the wild card, and they all weren't certainties in that either. So yeah, it was nice to see that the wild card's gone well so far. And it was worth playing it 2 weeks early for my team. Certainly on the outcomes so far anyway, and looking at the fixtures coming up. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So looking ahead now to Game Week 24. No transfers planned again this week. I'm still looking to save up to get the full 5 transfers when Game Week 26 comes around. It's been confirmed now either Arsenal or Chelsea are going to have a double game week, depending on who wins the League Cup semi-final next week. My squad's looking pretty strong fixture-wise, so I'm happy to be patient and just build up those transfers for the moment. So looking at the team for this week, Sanchez has West Ham at home. West Ham have been much better in recent weeks, but I still don't think they're got the most threatening attack at the moment. So I think there's a good chance here for Chelsea to get a clean sheet. I think Sanchez has been quite good recently. He had the dodgy game against Arsenal in the League Cup, but other than that, he's made quite a few good saves. I've been watching quite a few of the Chelsea games recently, and yeah, he certainly looks a lot better this season. He's getting a few save points now as well, since Rosinia's come in. So yeah, if we can get the clean sheets to go with the save points, and yeah, looks like he might be a good choice at 4.9 million. So yeah, expecting something there from him. Guehi is away to Spurs. I think that's a good fixture for City. Spurs, don't tend to score lots of goals, especially at home. They're not the best side. And City, I think they're just going to be pretty solid now with the likes of Guehi in there. I think Ruben Diaz is due back fairly soon as well. So yeah, I think they're going to be, trying to build themselves back up again. Start chasing Arsenal, and I think clean sheets is what's going to help them build up the momentum. So I think Guehi's probably going to start most of the games for them for the rest of the season. I think a game away at Spurs. I know the record's a bit patchy against them, but yeah, you'd be very surprised if they, don't get a good result. And yeah, a clean sheet certainly doesn't look unthinkable there. And Mukiele is at home to Burnley. Bit disappointing, really. Haven't had a clean sheet from Sunderland in the last couple of weeks. But Mukiele's still picking up the points. He's had assists in the last 2 weeks. Been playing at right back now that Ballard's back in the team as well. So yeah, he does get forward quite a bit. Defcon numbers are still looking decent. So yeah, he's definitely the one to play ahead of Alderete at the moment, if you've got both. Home fixture against Burnley, though, really expecting a clean sheet here. Although I do wonder how much Xhaka being out of the team is affecting them. I don't know whether it was just a bad day at the office last week, or whether they really need him in their sort of leadership and organisation. So it'll be interesting to see. Holmes, so good at home this year, playing against probably the worst team in the league. Yeah, you're expecting a clean sheet here, but yeah, be interesting to see how they cope, without him, and whether it's a big factor or not. So I would like to play Alderete as well, but yeah, I'm not 100% confident on the clean sheet here. So yeah, just going to play Mukiele for now. Then Gabriel is away to Leeds. Not much you can say really about Gabriel. He's almost 7 million now. He's gone up really fast since he's come back from injury. Arsenal, conceding 3 to Man United, they won't be happy about that. So going to Leeds, they're going to be nice and solid, not going to let too many chances come at them. So yeah, I'm pretty confident with the Arsenal clean sheet here. And I think, to be honest, if I knew Hincapié was likely to start, I'd probably play him in front of Guehi. But it's just that doubt over minutes at the minute is the only reason I'm not putting him in front, because I think double Arsenal defence, should go well this week, definitely. And moving on to the midfield, Rodgers is at home to Brentford. I see he came on quite early in Villa's Europa League game. Recording this on Thursday night. Watkins got injured, so I was thinking Rodgers was going to get a rest. But yeah, he sort of proved that he's very fit and capable of playing every match. So maybe it won't be too big of a deal, but it would have been nice to see him get a rest. A home game against Brentford, yeah, you were expecting some chances for him. He's been on really good form for quite a while now. His, stats and numbers aren't that great in terms of expected data, but he just keeps getting the goals and assists every week. So, yeah, some players are like that, where they're just so good they just defy the, expected stats. And yeah, Rodgers is definitely in that kind of form at the moment. Definitely playing for a place, in the starting 11 for England in the summer as well. So, yeah, you're expecting that to continue for most of the season anyway. And Rice is away to Leeds. Rice, he's going to have a few games where he's not going to score too much, but he's a long-term pick in this. And, he's been good away from home this season. I think it's a good chance for Arsenal to get another 3 points on the board, and you're expecting Rice to play 90 minutes again. So, yeah, just he's in there as someone that's going to pick up little bits every week and keep him long-term. Should do pretty well. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see something return in this one, but yeah, you're expecting a comfortable Arsenal win and probably something from Rice in that one. And Fernandes is at home to Fulham. Looked really good since he's been back from injury, Fernandes. United under Carrick are looking great as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play at home against a sort of, middling team as opposed to the best two teams in the league. Fernandes has been playing at number 10. He's just getting forward so much now, making those great runs in behind. He's got the eye for the pass. He'll keep trying things. He's so good on the bonus when he does get assists and goals. So for me, I think he's the best captaincy option this week. And yeah, I think I'm likely to go with him as my captain. Just think he's got so many ways to score points. And you can see United look great at the moment. He's just, involved in everything. So yeah, it makes sense to me. Fulham are not a bad side, but they're certainly not City or Arsenal. So you're expecting United to at least score a couple of goals anyway. Whether they can keep them out the other end is another question. But yeah, I think United's attack looks great, and Fernandes is, definitely the number one pick. And Palmer is at home to West Ham, and I've got the double Chelsea attack with Enzo as well. I think, again, good fixture for Chelsea. West Ham looking much better at the moment, but you'd still expect a Chelsea win here. Although, Chelsea could be quite tired after the trip to Naples on Wednesday. So there is a bit of a doubt whether Palmer's going to start this one. I think Chelsea's obviously got these 4 great fixtures now in a row. So already owning Palmer, probably got to start him and take the chance. He might end up only playing 20 or 30 minutes. He might not even play at all with the League Cup semi against Arsenal coming up next midweek. But I've got a good bench, so yeah, it's worth the gamble just to start him, I think. And obviously, if he's off the pitch, Enzo's on penalties as well, which we saw in the last 2 matches. So, yeah, I'm just happy to have a good piece of the Chelsea attack here for the next 4. Yeah, you're expecting a good few returns from those 2. But obviously, Palmer, start dependent, I guess. Moving on to the forwards, Haaland is away to Spurs. They did a real number on him in the game earlier in the season. Frank was very good at that when he was at Brentford as well. Just able to keep Haaland very quiet, which does seem to be the key to, keeping C quiet as well. So he's no doubt going to try his best to, replicate that again. And I'm sure he's going to try to keep things tight. So I just think Guardiola's too smart. He's going to figure something out here to get Haaland, freed up and available. Get him away from the centre backs possibly, but I just don't see more than a goal for Haaland in this one. So for me, I just think Fernandes is the better captain this week. So I'm quite happy to go against Haaland, and he could turn around and score a hat trick. You never know, but I just think it's, like I said, Frank's got that history of being able to deal with him quite well. So yeah, I'd be very surprised if he gets more than one goal. So he'll probably be my vice captain, but yeah, I think I'm pretty confident I'll go against him this week. And Thiago is away to Villa. I think he's been unlucky in the last couple of games not to get a couple of returns. The Chelsea game especially, they had a lot of chances, and the Forest game, there was a few there for him as well. So I think away at Villa is obviously never an easy game, but they're away in the Europa League on Thursday, so yeah, maybe they'll be a bit tired. Brentford can take advantage of that, but he's got some tough fixtures coming up. But I'm happy to hold him for the next few weeks because they've got nice runs starting in game week 27. And to be honest, I'd end up losing sort of $500,000 in value if I sold him. So, with the choice of strikers at the moment, they're all sort of quite, there's no consistent other options at the moment. So, happy to keep Thiago long term, penalty taker, talisman for his team. Maybe won't get much this week, but I say if we're patient with him, I think come around to 27, there'll be some good fixtures again there for him if he hasn't picked up much in the meantime. So in summary, I'm happy to go against Haaland this week and captain Fernandes. Like I said, I think Frank always has a good setup to play against Haaland, so can't see more than one goal. Whereas I think with Fernandes, he only needs an assist and he's got a good chance of bonus or DEFCON as well. Just makes it easier for him to get a good score. Especially now United are much more attacking under Carrick, which, I know we've mostly only seen counter-attacking so far, but I'd expect them to be, very proactive in a home game against Fulham, try and create plenty of chances, and Fernandes obviously will be involved in all of that. I'm also looking at the potential for bench boost this week. I've got a really strong bench. I've got Alderete and Hincapié, which, I can have double Sunderland against Burnley and double Arsenal against Leeds defence. So, Dubravka's always capable of keeping clean sheets. Maybe it's a 0-0 with Sunderland. He gets save points as well, so that looks decent. And then Mane's at home to Bournemouth, and Bournemouth, they just love to play end-to-end high-scoring games. So, imagine he's going to get some chances in the game to score. So, yeah, I do like it. And what I don't like is if you save the bench boost for a certain week in the future, and all your decisions end up being based around, I want a bench boost, so I don't want to do that, and I've got to keep that player because of the bench boost. And it just sometimes it can, all the weeks surrounding the week you plan to play it, it just sort of, can affect your team plans, and maybe you lose points in the build up to it. So yeah, it's one I'm going to think about up to the deadline. I think Palmer's minutes is probably the biggest issue here, along with Hincapié. But if I get some sort of indication that both are going to start, then yeah, I might just get it out of the way, to be honest, and not have to worry about it later in the season. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you think it's worth playing it this week, or whether you'd be dead set on saving it for a double later in the season. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.